Dopamine kind of dictates all of our lives, and so particularly if you have a deficiency, it's going to be super present because it affects huge parts of life. Because life is affected by taking action, and dopamine plays an enormous role in taking action. The key things seem to be two different things. One is slightly more interesting than the other to me. One is it's released when the unexpected happens, when some novel benefit happens. To say, hey, rewarding, pursue this next time, and it is also released when you are in pursuit of something. It's released to keep you in pursuit of something. You get more dopamine happening when it's, hey, this is worth chasing. And interestingly, the object, if the object of the chase remains the same, the amount of dopamine released for it will decrease, which has a couple of kind of interesting, obvious implicit implications. One being, if the goal is really far away, then it's not going to change for a long time. It's going to be the same goal. And so if you're only being motivated by that end goal thing, it's going to be far less compelling to you because you're going to get less and less dopamine for it. Whereas if you're focusing on like shorter term goals that contribute to the big thing for sure, but your focus is like, how can I get to this next milestone? Then you're going to have new goals for which there's a higher degree of dopamine over time as well. Reframing it, understanding it differently would potentially be other ways of dealing with it too. I'll be interested to see if I find research along those lines, but it'll be released in a lesser quantity over time as a result. So really important to understand at least the fundamental two things. Those are quite distinct. And in terms of taking action, you want to think more about the over time pursuit, the dopamine of pursuit, rather than worrying about, oh no, I'm overloading my system with dopamine with rewards, because they're kind of different things. Maybe I'll see research that says that one numbs the other, but so far I haven't seen that. We'll see. Stay tuned. The other thing to note is dopamine research is super limited. It's not comprehensive because human testing would be super invasive, and so there are really limited ways that we can test on humans, unless there are people doing like evil things somewhere and keeping that research from us. But we can know a lot from kind of unethical animal testing, monkey testing and stuff, so I'm going to try and find out more about the sort of exact mechanics neurologically of dopamine, but certainly we don't know heaps. We don't understand all of its mechanics. A lot of it is psychology research indicating pursuit of something increases when someone does X, Y, Z, but then a lot of that also got hit with the replication crisis and the fact that heaps of research wasn't replicable, and that says that the findings were bullshit, and psychology got hit pretty hard with that realization as well. So we don't actually know heaps, but what we do know is that increased dopamine increases the perceived value of taking action. Lower dopamine lowers the perceived value in taking action, and perceived value in taking action is what motivates us to doing things. So if you have a deficiency, you're going to struggle more. There is an absolute cap. It doesn't increase infinitely, so like medications that increase dopamine will help to a point in increasing perceived value, and then it'll sort of hit a ceiling, but that point will make it still way easier to take action. If you lack dopamine, you lack the perceived value in taking action, you can't take action without perceived value. Perceived value can be increased other ways, but it's going to take more intention and effort to build the levels of dopamine in association with a particular thing to make it seem more rewarding and less unrewarding, or make things that are opposite it feel less unrewarding, make us less defensive against it, aversively motivated against us. We're not wanting to, I don't know, go watch TV to distract ourselves from the task because the task is perceived as painful. So if we can make it less painful, make it more rewarding, that'll help heaps. But if we're starting with less, it'll just be a bit shittier. And I think that that's just some basic stuff that anyone who has a dopamine deficiency, for me it's narcolepsy, but there are those who would argue ADHD too. That doesn't matter. The point is, if you have a deficiency, it's really probably valuable to know basically what's happening and to know what information to kind of ignore as well. Dopamine is important in this area. We don't know heaps about it or how it's working. It's not the entire picture, and it's much more in control than you think. Even if it's a shame that we might need to control it. But even people who have heaps of dopamine, there's stuff that there are limits for them. And so the process of learning how to navigate dopamine, significant regardless. And that's what this journey is about, so stick around if you want more. And the other part of this journey is me just trying to make YouTube videos that people want to click on and watch. So I am mostly just trying to focus on that start part at the moment, is make that engaging. If you found this boring, or you lost interest at any points, or you have any feedback, I'd love to hear it in the comments, because that would help me. But otherwise, be well and farewell till tomorrow.